Hi everyone, I'm Josh. Welcome back to Learn English Podcast 360. Today I have a story for you. It was a quiet Sunday morning, the kind of morning when everything feels a little slower, a little softer. I woke up slowly, still a bit tired, and reached my hand to the side of the bed, just like I always do. You know that moment, right? Your eyes aren't fully open yet, but your hand already knows where your phone is. Hmm. Except this time there was nothing there. Just an empty space. I paused for a second. Maybe I put it somewhere else last night. I moved my hand around, still half asleep, but no phone. Oh, that felt strange. I opened my eyes, sat up a little, and looked around the room. The phone was not on the table, not on the chair, not even on the floor. It was gone. For a moment, I just sat there quiet. There was no screen lighting up my face, no messages waiting, no news, no music, just silence. Something felt off. I asked myself a simple question. When was the last time I started my day without my phone? I couldn't remember. Really, I couldn't remember. And that question stayed with me. It was small, but it felt important. Like a tiny crack in my normal routine. Maybe today would be different, so I got out of bed, slowly. Still thinking about it. No phone, no quick check, no scroll, just me and the morning. Yeah, it sounds simple, right? Spending one day without your phone. But is it really that easy? I mean, think about it. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, the phone is always there. It's like a part of our life, maybe even a part of us. So today, without planning it, I started a small experiment. A day without my phone. At first, everything felt a little uncomfortable. I walked into the kitchen and made breakfast. Usually, I would play some music or check something while I eat, but today, there was nothing. Just the sound of the spoon, the cup, the quiet room. It felt a bit empty. I sat down and looked at my food. Then I looked around. The light coming through the window felt softer than usual. The room looked different. Or maybe I just noticed it more. I'm not sure. But then something interesting happened. My hand moved. Without thinking, it reached for my pocket. For my phone. Oops. It wasn't there. I smiled a little. That was automatic. I didn't even think about it. And then it happened again. A few minutes later, the same thing. My hand moved, searching for something that was not there. Yeah. It was a strange feeling, like my body was used to something, but my mind was just starting to realize it. I finished my breakfast slowly, no rush, no distraction, just eating. And I noticed something I hadn't noticed in a long time. I could actually taste the food better. That surprised me. After that, I got ready to go outside. Usually, I would check the weather on my phone, but today, I just looked out the window. The sky was clear, the air looked fresh. That was enough. When I stepped outside, the world felt a little different. Not because it changed, but because I changed. Without my phone, I had nothing to look down at. So I looked up. I saw people walking, talking, laughing. I heard sounds I usually ignore. The wind, cars passing by, someone calling a friend from across the street. Oh, it felt more alive somehow. But at the same time, there was still a bit of discomfort. A small voice in my head kept saying, "You're missing something. You should check something." Yeah, that feeling didn't go away quickly. As the morning went on, I noticed how often I felt the need to do something with my hands or my mind. Usually that something is my phone. But now, There was nothing to fill that space, and that space felt big. Hmm, maybe too big. Around midday, I decided to go to a small cafe not far from my place. It's a place I've been to many times. Normally, I would just follow the map on my phone without thinking. But today, no phone. So I walked, trying to remember the way. At first, I felt confident. I knew this area, right? But after a few turns, I started to feel unsure. Wait, was it left or right here? I stopped for a moment and looked around. The street felt unfamiliar, even though I had been there before. Really? How could that be? Without my phone, I couldn't check. No map, no quick answer. This is harder than I thought. I kept walking slowly, paying more attention to signs, buildings, and small details, and something interesting happened again. Because I had to look around more carefully, I started to notice things I had never seen before. A small shop with colorful flowers, a quiet street with old trees, a man sitting outside reading a book. These things were always there. I just never saw them. After a few minutes, I finally found the cafe. Ah, I felt a small sense of success. Not a big thing, but still, it felt good. I went inside and sat down. Usually, this is the moment when I take out my phone, scroll, check messages, maybe watch something. But today, nothing. So I just sat there. At first, it felt a little awkward. What should I do now? Just sit? Just drink my coffee? But then slowly, that feeling started to change. I looked around. I saw people talking, smiling, working. I listened to the soft music in the background. I noticed the smell of coffee, the warm light, the quiet feeling of the place. And for the first time in a long time, I was fully there. Not half there, not distracted, not thinking about something else. Just there. Yeah, that felt different. Time felt slower, but not in a bad way. It felt fuller, like each moment had more space in it. And I realized something small, but important. Maybe the problem is not that we don't have time. Maybe the problem is that our attention is always somewhere else. That thought stayed with me as I finished my coffee, slowly, quietly, just enjoying the moment. After I finished my coffee, I stayed there for a few more minutes, just sitting quietly. I didn't feel the need to rush. I didn't feel pulled away by anything. That was new. Usually my time in a cafe is short, a quick stop before moving on to the next thing. But today time felt softer, slower. As I was about to leave, I noticed someone sitting at the table next to me. An older man, maybe in his late 60s, holding a small cup of tea. He looked calm, just watching the street outside. For a moment, I thought about leaving, like I normally would. But then, I didn't. I don't know why, but I looked at him and gave a small smile. He smiled back. It was a simple moment, very small. But then he said, "Nice day, isn't it?" Oh, that surprised me a little. "Yeah," I said, "it really is." And that could have been the end of it. Just a short, polite exchange, but for some reason I didn't look away, and he didn't either. We started talking, slowly at first. Just simple things, the weather, the cafe, the street outside. Nothing special, nothing deep. But then, little by little, the conversation changed. He told me he comes to this cafe almost every day. He likes to sit by the window and watch people pass by. "You can learn a lot just by watching," he said. I smiled. That felt true. Then he asked me, "Do you come here often?" I paused for a second. "Yeah, I do. But I think this is the first time I really see this place. He looked at me, a bit curious. What do you mean? I took a small breath and said, I usually have my phone with me. I sit here, but I'm not really here. He nodded slowly. Ah, yeah, that happens to many of us. There was a short silence after that. Not an awkward silence, just a quiet, comfortable one. And then he said something that stayed with me. He said, sometimes we are so busy looking at our screens, we forget to look at our lives. That hit me. It wasn't a big, dramatic moment. No loud music, no strong emotion, just a simple sentence, but it felt real, honest. I realized something in the moment. Without my phone, I didn't have anything to hide behind. No quick escape, no easy distraction. So I stayed. I listened. I was fully there. And because of that, I connected. Even if it was just for a few minutes with a stranger I'd never met before. Oh, that felt different. More real, more human. We talked a little more after that about simple things, life, time, small habits. Nothing too deep, but somehow it felt meaningful. When I finally stood up to leave, I felt lighter. I smiled and said goodbye, and he smiled back, like we had shared something small but important. As I walked out of the cafe, I noticed something had changed inside me. The world didn't feel as fast anymore. My thoughts felt quieter. My steps felt slower, but more steady. Yeah, something was different. The rest of the afternoon passed in a calm, gentle way. I walked a bit more, sat in a park for a while, just watching people, listening to the sounds around me. No music, no messages, no scrolling, just life as it is. And as evening slowly arrived, I made my way back home. The sky was starting to change color, soft orange and light blue mixing together. I don't remember the last time I really looked at the sky like that. When I opened the door and stepped inside, the room felt quiet but not empty like it did in the morning. This time the quiet felt peaceful. I sat down and took a deep breath. Yeah. The day was not easy. There were moments of discomfort, moments when I felt lost, moments when I wanted to reach for my phone without thinking. But at the same time, it was meaningful. I thought about the morning, how strange everything felt. I thought about the afternoon, getting lost, finding my way, noticing small things. And I thought about that short conversation in the cafe. Such a simple moment, but it changed something. My mind felt calmer now, not full of noise, not jumping from one thing to another, just quiet and time. Time felt different too. It didn't feel like it was running away from me. It felt slower, but also fuller. Like I had actually lived the day, not just passed through it. That's when I started to understand something important. It's not that phones are bad. They help us in many ways. They connect us. They make things easier. But now, when we use them all the time without thinking, they take something away from us. They take our attention. And when our attention is gone, we miss the small moments, the real moments, the moments that make life feel alive. So maybe the point is not to remove the phone forever. That's not realistic. But maybe, just maybe, we need small breaks, small moments where we come back to ourselves. Sometimes when we remove something small, we discover something bigger. And today, I didn't just lose my phone for a day. I found something else. I found a little more awareness, a little more presence, a little more connection. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you were fully present? Not thinking about the next thing, not checking something, not distracted, just fully there. Yeah. It's not an easy question, But maybe you don't need a full day. Maybe you could start small, just 1 hour, or even one morning. No phone, no pressure, just curiosity. Ah, what might you notice? Maybe nothing special, or maybe it's something small that changes the way you see your day. Thank you for being here with me today, and I'll see you in the next story.